Good afternoon. Myself Dr. Gagan Singh. I am associated with Uttarakhand Open University. Today the topic which I am going to discuss with you, that is startup ecosystem in India. First of all, I welcome you all in this course, that is entrepreneurship skills and digital marketing strategies. In this course, in the first lecture, I discuss with you in detail about the entrepreneurships, what are the various type of entrepreneurs and what are their qualities, and what is the importance of entrepreneurship in India and in global scenario. Now we are going to discuss, that is startup ecosystem in India. In this lecture, we will discuss about startup and startup ecosystem. What is startup? We will discuss in detail. Then the main pillars and benefits of startup we have. Then we have the basic eligibility for a startup, funding support of startup, achievement of startup in India. Then what are the various challenges and the future of Indian startup ecosystem. Then we have the top performing sectors and new emerging sector. What are the top performing sectors and what are the new emerging sector in startup cases. Then we have the future of Indian startup ecosystem. Firstly, we are going to discuss about what is startup. As you know that startup is basically a new business which is created to develop and market a new product or services or establish a new business. As you know, Startup India is a government initiative to start up to support startups in India. This is a government initiative, Government of India, with the goal of creating a strong ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship in India. As we know very well, this program was announced by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015, and this program basically launched in the year 2016. Where a flagship initiative of the Government of India which intended to catalyze startup culture. Basically, the intention behind to support the startup system to catalyze the startup culture in the India, to motivate new entrepreneurs to start their new business. Now we are going to discuss in detail about startup ecosystem. A startup ecosystem is what? A startup ecosystem is a network of people. Basically, it is a network of people, organization and resources that work together to support startup and help them to succeed. As you know, basically it is a network of people. We are so many people involved in this process, so many organizations are involved in this process, and so many resources we use for this work. And basically the purpose behind to support startup and help them to succeed. What is the main goal of this startup ecosystem? The goal of startup ecosystem is to create an environment where startup can thrive and contribute to the local and global economy. This is the main goal of to start a new startup, that to which helps in the contribution of the local and global economy. This is all about the startup ecosystem. You can see this is the startup ecosystem, in which we will find the government organizations there, support organizations there, big companies there, funding organizations is there, research organizations is there, and so many service providers are there. So basically startup ecosystem is an idea, innovations you can see, and research process is involved. So many innovators are there, investors are there, mentors are there, and so many government universities and other private institutions are there to provide a environment to grow a new business. So this is all about the startup ecosystem. Then we have the how startup ecosystem work. In this we have mainly, first one is the collaboration, second one is we have the knowledge sharing, third one we have the funding cycles, and fourth one we have innovation and growth. In collaboration, all components of the ecosystem work together to support startups. This is called collaborations, where all components of ecosystem work together. Then we have the knowledge sharing. In knowledge sharing, we will find the mentors are there, peer groups are there, institutions are there to contribute insight and experience. In institutions, we find all the reputed institution and all the big universities of the country, and also across the globe. Then we have the funding cycle. In funding cycle, we have the investors, those who invest the money, to fund startups, then which grow and provide returns fueling further investment. So this is about the funding cycles. So this is what we are discussing. This is about the how startup ecosystem work. Then we have the innovation and growth. In innovation and growth, there is startups solve real world problems. What is the basic purpose to start a new startup? That is, it solve real world problem. Then we have the leading to new industries and job creations. Job creation is one of the main component of any startup. When we wish or when we plan to start a new business, then job creation is the first on the first priority. Then we have the key elements of India's startup ecosystem, in which we have two main components. First one is major hubs and ecosystem cluster is there. Then we have the government initiative supporting startup. We will discuss in detail in the next slides about the government initiative and supporting startup. What in the major hubs, as we have the cities as startup hubs is there. Then emerging tier 2 and tier cities 3 cities are there. So this is about the key elements of India's startup ecosystem. In government initiative supporting startup, we have Startup India is there, Make in India is there, Atal Innovation Mission AIM is there, and Startup India and Mudra Yojana. They all are the government of India initiative to support startup in India. Then we have the various factors for a successful startup. As you know, any business start from its idea. Firstly, the idea came in a mind. Then the idea we develop with the help of plan. Then we dream it, how we are going to achieve it. Then we have the goal, what we want to achieve with the help of the startup, and what is the main goal of to start any startup in the country. Then next process we have the registrations. After finalize the goal, then we will go through the various registration process. Then we have the funds, from where we can get the funds to for the growth and development of a newly startup. Then we have the advertising. We mean to say that to advertise your product, to advertise your new business, and to advertise your new service which you are providing through this startup. So these are the various factors for a successful startup. It starts from idea, then plan, then dream, then goal, then registration, funds, and advertising. Now we have the main pillars of startup. What are the main pillars? As I already discussed briefly with you in the previous slide, that fundings, from where we get the fund, providing funding support and incentives to startup. This is one of the main pillars of any startup. Then we have the industry academia partnership. It is very important when we are going to start a new business. Then promoting partnership is required, then between industry and academy, because the knowledge sharing between industry and academy is very important for the growth of any newly startup business. Then we have the incubation means providing incubation for startup, to provide help, to provide support to grow for the faster growth of any startup vision, that is known as incubations. Then we have the simplification means the simplifying the process for startup. There are so many complex, you can say that while we are going to file, while we are going to register the new startup, then the main pillar, the basic purpose is to simplify the process, either in case of registration or any other process, that is called as simplification. Then we have the benefits of startup. What are the various benefits of startup? First one was the tax exemption. Under section 80 IAC of the Income Tax Act, startup get the tax exemption. Then we have the recognitions. Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is DPIIT, provide recognition to the newly startups. Then we have the easier compliance. Startup can access easier compliance. This is one of the basic benefits of any startup. Then we have the IPR fast tracking. Startup can access faster IPR fast tracking. These are the benefits of a newly startup. Then we have the other key benefits. What are the other key benefits apart from the previous slide? First one, they reduce the patent registration fees. They get relaxation in patent registration fees. Then we have the create an innovation hub. under the Atal Innovation Missions. This is another benefits of Startup India. Then another benefit is the targeting 5 lakh schools along with the involvement of 10 lakh children in innovation related program. One of you can say very important benefits and very social cause that we are with the help of the startup. We are going to targeting 5 lakh schools and where the involvement of 10 lakh children in innovation related program, that is very important. Then we have the encourage entrepreneurship throughout the country. This is another benefits of startup, that they encourage the entrepreneurship quality among the new entrepreneur or new businessman throughout the country. Then we have the promote India as a startup hub across the world to build Indian image as a new startup hub. This is another benefits from the Startup India. Now, what are the basic eligibility for a startup? In basic eligibility, there are many others are also there, but I am going to discuss very few with you. We up to 10-year-old from the date of incorporation. It is the basic eligibility that a institution, any business house have 10-year-old experience. Then we have an annual turnover of less than 100 crores is there. Focus on innovation. The main focus should be on innovation, development or improvement of products or services. This is the main basic eligibility criteria. Then we have the we recognized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So these are the basic eligibility for when one wish or one want to start a new startup. Then these are the funding support of startup. What are these? First one is the Fund of Funds for Startups, FFS. It is known as FFS. In this we have managed by, it is managed by the SIDBI. SIDBI means Small Industries Development Bank of India, and rupees 10,000 crore corpus to provide funding support. So this is one kind of you can say funding support for startup by the which is managed by the SIDBI, and it corpus of 10,000 crore. Then funds are disbursed through Alternative Investment Fund, that is AIFS, which invest in startups. So these are the main basic features of FFS. Then we have the SISFS, and its full form is Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. What does it? It provides financial assistance to early stage startup for prototype development, product trials, market and entry, and commercialization. So this is all about the funding support of a startup. Then we have the funding landscape. All these are related with the sources of funding, from where they are getting the funding for a newly startup. Then first one is venture capital and private equity. In this you can find that the Secure Capital, Excel, SoftBank and Tiger Global is in present scenario. Then we have the angel investors. In angel investors we have the Indian Angel Network, Mumbai Angel support early stage startup. So this is one another kind of funding landscape in the form of angel investor. Then we have the corporate investment and collaborations, in which you can find Google, Microsoft and Amazon is there. Then we have another kind of funding landscape, that is crowdfunding, and in this you can see and you have observed in many social media platforms that Keto, KETTO, it is basically for social cause, those who are admitted in hospital and they are not able to position to provide payment of their treatment. Then this is from this is a platform where we can get small funding to provide the real beneficiary. Then we have the Fuel Your Dream. So all these kind of comes under the category of funding landscape, in which we have venture capital and private equity, angel investors are there, corporate investment and collaboration is there, and crowdfunding is there. Thank you.